This afternoon I'm going to start our heart practice with a story. That points to what we're going to be doing this afternoon. An engineer had been a regular and devoted visitor to the monastery for many years. The meditation practice taught at the monastery was the only thing that made sense to him. In fact, the pragmatic logic of the meditation teachings gave him hope that he could overcome his chronic unhappiness and deeply felt pain. He tried all the meditation practices that the abbess taught him. He began each practice with enthusiasm, only to have each end with the same frustration. He would encounter a wall he couldn't pass. The closer he came to the wall, the more he would recoil back into trying to think his way out of his pain. Offering him much support, the abbess encouraged him to relax, trust the practice, and simply feel his inner pain without reacting to it. After many years, the abbess decided a different approach was needed. During his next visit to the monastery, the abbess told him that if he wanted to continue being her student and to be able to return to the monastery, he would have to take on a special practice. Once he had accomplished the assignment, he could then return for deeper teachings. Once more feeling hope, the engineer quickly agreed. The abbess said, "For 2 years, I want you to volunteer 10 hours a week at the maternity ward at the local hospital. The hospital needs people to hold babies who are born prematurely. If they don't receive enough physical contact, the babies will not grow healthily. When you have finished these 2 years, please come back to see me." The man was quite perplexed by this instruction, but because of his trust in the abbess and his failure to find any relief elsewhere, he plunged into volunteering at the maternity ward. He was surprised at how small and fragile the babies were that he held. He would hold them ever so carefully. He would watch their every breath because they all seemed in danger of stopping breathing. He spent a lot of time thinking about how he could more effectively care for the babies he held. But there was nothing more effective than simply holding them against his chest. After about 6 months, he started feeling something quite new. He started to feel a little spot of warmth and softness in the very center of his being. Since this was a foreign experience that didn't fit any of the ways he thought about himself, he ignored it. Ignoring it was the best thing he could have done because it prevented him from interfering with the warmth by thinking about it too much. Over the following months, this tender spot grew until it pervaded his body. As it did, the cold, dark wall around his heart slowly relaxed, thawed, and dissolved. When he had completed his 2 years of volunteering in the maternity ward, the engineer returned to the monastery. The abbess saw immediately that he was a changed man. He was no longer desperate, and he was no longer trying to fit everything he experienced into a conceptual framework. Now he wanted to learn what else the abbess had to teach. Giving him a new instruction, the abbess said to him, "When you meditate, don't think about what is happening. Rather, let your awareness be seated in the tender warmth you feel in your body. If you do this, any meditation practice you do will be fruitful." The man found this to be true. So there's a way that we can teach and even practice the mindfulness practice and the heart practice separately. In their fullness, though, they're not separate. And this is what I'd like to explore with you a little bit today. How can we bring a loving heart, metta, loving kindness, to every experience. Just like how we would we would meet it with mindfulness. Well, we meet it with a loving mindfulness, a tender caring. We bring the metta right into the mindfulness practice. So I'll just guide us into that, sitting comfortably, really settling in. I even like to get a sense of how it's loving just to sit comfortably, just to sit still and relaxed, not burdening ourselves with anything to do. Just completely relaxing into this moment. That in and of itself is a loving thing to do. See if you can just get the sense of that. Just the of sitting here. In the body. In the heart. And turning our attention more specifically to the heart in any one or combination of those three ways I spoke about the other day. Directing your attention to the heart center. Physical contact with one or both hands to the heart center. And breathing in and out from the heart center. Contacting the heart center with our attention, contacting it with tactile sensation, contacting it with breath. Any combination of those three that work for you. The man used holding babies to his chest to touch that tender warmth at the center of his being. We use the metta practice. Allowing that tender warmth to be known. And then bringing to mind that being that we were working with. That being is that where the caring, the love, the well-wishing just spontaneously arises often when you're around them. Maybe it's the little cat that joins us for our meals. And getting an image of this being. Now, no being is perfect. Every being has their rough edges, but so we connect with this being when they're at their most loveliest, cutest, likable. And you allow that feeling of how you feel when you are with them at that time to be present now. Continuing to touch the heart, bring the attention to the heart, breathe through the heart. That's helpful. And connecting with that tender warmth at the center of our being. Gently vibrating, pulsing, glowing. And you might just notice the relationship between that feeling and relaxing the body. That feeling supports the body being relaxed. Relaxing the body supports contacting that feeling. Spontaneous, well-wishing, caring, loving that arises with this being. No trying, it just erupts. This becomes our anchor. And we use breathing through the heart, the touching it, the bringing this being to mind as much as is necessary to just gently stay connected to this tender warmth. Just like we would use the breath or the body, as much as necessary to stay connected to the present moment. So now that we're sitting here, a tender heart, a little bit open, we see if we can meet each experience that arises with this tender, open heart. I'm going to start with sounds. See if you can invite, allow, accept. Full acceptance and love are actually two words that point to the same thing. Any sound that you hear. For those of us in this part of the room, the sound of the machine, that whoosh. Can we be loving towards that? Can we allow that in? Can we embrace that sound with a loving heart? the sound of the bell. Just the way the breath can resonate the heart, the way the breath resonates the reed on a wind instrument. See if the vibration of the bell can resonate through the heart. So the bell again. So that every sound becomes a gentle striker that strikes the bell, that strikes the heart. How about the sound of the fan? Can that be received with a loving heart? If you begin to lose the tender warmth, breathing through the heart, bring fully to attention the being. Opening to sounds with an open heart. So as we go on now, we're going to expand. So we'll continue to open to sounds. And as we do that, we will now begin opening to body sensations, so sounds and body sensations, starting with the breath, sensations of breath. This one's often quite easy. Letting each in-breath and out-breath touch the heart, inviting the sensations of the in- and out-breath. Touching them, being touched by them. There's only touching. That little cat comes over and we touch heads. There's no cat, there's no me, there's just touching. Just connection. Other body sensations. If there are unpleasant ones, just kind of stay away from those for now. Pick some ones that are more neutral, perhaps where just your hands are touching or your feet are touching. Can you connect with those sensations with a loving awareness, an invitation, a complete allowing for them to be just as they are? attention now into the whole body, not any one particular part. So if I were to say to you, feel your whole body all at once, what would that be like? Letting all the sensations in your body be received by this tender heart. Feeling the tender heart as body sensations. Perhaps letting that sensations of the tender heart expand to fill the whole body. The abbess taught the man. So that every sensation that you feel is a manifestation of the tender feeling heart. Nothing to hold against, nothing to keep away, complete allowing, complete acceptance. This is metta. So this expansive, allowing heart, knowing, receiving sounds, fully open, receiving sensations of body, sensations of breath, relaxing into the openness of that receptivity, that allowing. No resistance. That's another name for love, for metta. No resistance. All the sounds, all the body sensations. That tender warmth welcomes every contact with every sound, every body sensation, and in turn the contact itself resonates with the tender warmth, feeds it, nourishes it. The bell does not resist the striker, it welcomes it. And the contact between the striker and the bell allows the vibration of the bell to be known. In the same way, no resistance between the tender warmth of your heart and sounds and body sensations and breath sensations. They're invited in. And as they touch that tender warmth, they allow it to be known. to be aware of the interplay between relaxation of the body and the tender warmth. And as you sit here, connected to sounds, body, breath sensations, if any other object arises, thought, image in the mind, words in the mind, emotion, mind state, see if that too can be met with that same tender, open, accepting heart. Thoughts like, I have no idea what he's talking about. Can that be met? Can that be invited in? Yes, you can be here. You can come. You can slither along, and you can go. I'll allow that. I'll be open for that. If we feel like we're getting lost with thoughts, you can just kind of gently restrict your awareness back to body and sounds, cultivating that loving attention to all sounds, all body sensations, whole body. So I hope you can see here the parallel with the mindfulness practice. We have an anchor of sorts, and we open up from that. We get lost, we come back to it. Last instruction. Enjoy this tender warmth at the center of your being. Enjoy being embodied. And let that enjoyment be open to all things touching you, contacting you. You are allowed to enjoy. It's okay to enjoy. last 5 minutes of the sit. If you experience having some difficult body sensations, aches, pains, see if you can gently bring that tender, warm heart into contact with those body sensations. Not so that they'll go away, simply contact them. Invite them into that tender warmth. It's easy to invite the sound of the train in. It's harder to invite the pain in the knee in. Or those critical thoughts. See though. Look. So when we do our mindfulness practice, when we're doing the Vipassana practice, when we say, notice this or see that, be aware of this, be aware of that, that noticing, that seeing, that awareness is not cold and surgical. We want it to have that tender warmth. We want the metta practice and the mindfulness practice to be infused, to be together. I mean, it's fine to, practice the metta separately, but just the point being, we want to cultivate this kind of sense of openness of heart in our Vipassana practice to all experience. Any questions? We just have a couple minutes about what we did and its applications. It's called A Monastery Within by Gil Fronsdale. Just to say, all books and all quotes will be available at the end of the retreat.
I was just going to comment that that book and the other book you read from Gil Fronsdale, if you have a Kindle, you can get it for about $2 or $3 from Amazon.
Thank you. Oh.
So is that a practice that you can do in place of a traditional metta practice?
Yeah, if it worked for you, how did that work for you? Did it help you connect with did it help you connect with metta? Then with metta practice, I hope you know by now, it's whatever works. So if standing on your head in the corner helps bring about metta, then you stand on your head in the corner. We give instructions. I don't know what Pat and Sharon have been doing, truthfully. But it can be classical instructions about self, benefactor, good friend, neutral. Yeah. So, and that if that works, you do that. So, if this really helps you connect with your heart, then.
I like the way it combines the two other.
Yeah. That was the point. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not that I know of. You could look. You could use a little search engine on Dharma Seed and see. I don't think I have. Oh, it is. There you go. I'm on the Dharma Seed board, so I'm going to be in touch with you all about having a page on Dharma Seed, if you don't already. Yeah. Okay, enough. That's it. Those are the beings we want to use, the easy beings. When he, I don't know if it's a he or she, it does that little meh. That's it. Yeah. I mean, maybe not all of you, but yeah, that's it. That's metta. Yeah. No words, just beautiful, exactly. Okay, so it's a walking period, and you can, we'll take one question. Continue to do the metta as you walk. You can bring that quality to your walking, to how you move your body. So words worked for you, talking to it kindly. There you go. Nice. Yep, nice. Yeah, we find what works with the metta practice. Good, thank you.